Welcome. You're listening to the Bump Podcast, a place for believers of the unexplained, monsters, and paranormal. I'm your host, Bo Kennedy. Join us as we go face to face with what goes bump in the night.
Man, I saw his eyes glowing, and I was like, please, Jesus, let that be a cat.
Well, it's kind of weird because I don't know how you would see her. The camera's kind of facing.
Yeah, it was barely over your left shoulder. Yeah,
I'm in my garage.
Okay.
So
it was right in front of that door. Yeah, it was on top of that stuff right there.
We'll have to watch it back and see it because that'd be pretty well. I hope there's nothing here.
Well, that leads me to this question, and I ask a lot of people this, just personally, off camera, on camera, whatever. What do you do to protect yourself when you go out to these investigations? I ask this because I've talked to a lot of people that dabble in the paranormal or are full-fledged into it, and it seems like when we get into darker stories, I wound up getting stuff going on in my house. I've had a lot of electronic issues. I had EVPs. My family's seen the shadows in the corners and stuff like that. And so, we stay prayed up. I have, olive wood crosses all through the house. I've done a lot of stuff to help, with saging and stuff like that. But
yeah, no, for sure. And I've been on a couple different podcasts and doing stuff with people, and it's very easy for them, from what we've seen, to manipulate electronics, and that's why we use what we use. And I've actually I thought this was kind of crazy, right? Because I'm going to answer your question, but I think this will lead into it, is that Eric, one of our team members, does a lot of live events on Instagram, and he'll bring in psychic mediums virtually live. And at first I was like, what? They're not here. How can they? But through the phone, through lives and stuff, they can feel and see what's going on at that location. And that to me is wild. So yeah, that's pretty nuts. And like I said, they can travel through, from what I've told and what I've seen and what I've heard, is that they can travel through phones, they can travel through cameras and video and electronics. But to answer your question, I don't do anything like ritualistic per se. I have a pendant that I wear. This is I'm not super religious, but this is a pendant that they use for exorcisms and things like that, to keep the evil away. I had this a long time. It's tiki mask. It's to ward away evil spirits, just things like that. But sometimes every time we're done with an investigation, I will say, and I don't know if you've seen any of my content, but I almost talk to them and show them that we're not scared. I feel like they kind of, any entities or things like that, they feed off of fear or your feelings. Like I don't really tend to ever really get startled or freaked out very easily. And I tend to treat them almost like a dog or like a small child or something like that, where you have to be very stern. And I feel like that helps a lot. So, not rude, but stern, stand your ground.
Yeah.
So like at the end of an investigation, I'll always say, like, listen, all right, you do not have permission to follow me or any of our guests outside this residence. This is where you belong, and this is where you're going to stay. Yeah. And you do not have permission. And we'll come back and visit you again. We'll be back. Thank you. I'll be respectful, things like that. If we do get into anything that seems to be pretty dark, we do have people on the team that have experience dealing with that. So it doesn't really bother me too much, because I know if anything really does happen or we get into that situation, we can contact somebody that can do proper cleansings and things of that nature. And I will take precautions. Like at the end of some sessions, we'll do a sage cleansing and things of that nature. But no, nothing too much, really. Nothing. Like I know some groups will do prayers and things like that before. I'm just not super religious, but I am obviously somewhat religious and spiritual. So I do feel that proper precautions should be taken, and especially when you're dealing with children entities. It's